9 experienced hikers. 1 frozen night, a mystery Russia still can't explain. February 1959, Ural Mountains. 9 Soviet students vanish on a routine ski trek. Weeks later, rescuers find their tent sliced open from the inside. Footprints in the snow show they fled barefoot, half-dressed, into -30-degree cold. Why would anyone run from shelter into a death sentence? The bodies tell no simple story. Some froze quietly. Others had crushed ribs and skulls with no external wounds. One woman was missing her tongue. Their clothing tested positive for radiation. Investigators closed the case, blaming an unknown compelling force. 65 years later, nobody agrees on what happened that night. What do you think chased them out of that tent? In 1817 Tennessee, a family was terrorized by something that could talk. The Bell family began hearing scratching in their walls, then knocking, then a voice, cold, clear, and mocking. It called itself a spirit displeased with old John Bell, and it grew bolder every night. It slapped his daughter Betsy awake, pulled her hair, and pinned her to the bed. Neighbors came to witness it. Even future President Andrew Jackson allegedly visited and reportedly fled in terror. The entity claimed responsibility when John Bell died suddenly in 1820, boasting it had poisoned him. Before vanishing, it promised to return in 7 years. Most people assume it never kept that promise. The Bell family's descendants say otherwise. In ancient Rome, breaking one vow meant being buried alive. The Vestal virgins were priestesses chosen as children to guard Rome's sacred fire for 30 years. Their vow, absolute chastity. Break it, and Rome believed disaster would follow. Plague, famine, defeat in war. The punishment wasn't execution by blade. It was worse. A guilty Vestal was sealed inside an underground chamber with a lamp, a loaf of bread, and a little water, then left to die slowly so Roman hands never technically spilled her blood. Several Vestals suffered this fate across Rome's history, some almost certainly innocent, accused during political turmoil. The chamber was then filled with earth, erasing all trace of her. History calls this justice. Most people who hear the details call it something else entirely. A widow believed rifle ghosts were hunting her, so she built a house that never stopped growing. Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, lost her husband and infant daughter within years of each other. A medium reportedly told her the spirits of everyone killed by Winchester rifles were cursing her family, and that construction, endless construction, would keep them at bay. For 38 years, carpenters worked on her San Jose mansion non-stop, day and night, never finishing. The result? Staircases leading straight into ceilings, doors opening onto blank walls, and windows built inside other rooms. Some say it confused wandering spirits. Others say it just confused everyone. Sarah died in 1922. The hammering finally stopped mid-nail. Skeptics call it grief. The house itself has never agreed with that explanation. A ship was found drifting at sea, fully stocked, untouched, and completely empty. December 1872. The Mary Celeste is spotted adrift near the Azores, sails still set, moving with no one at the helm. When a boarding crew climbs aboard, they find something impossible. Food still sits on the table, half-eaten. The crew's belongings, even their pipes and boots, are untouched. 6 months of provisions remain in the hold, but the lifeboat is gone. The entire crew, including the captain's wife and young daughter, has vanished without a trace. No bodies, no struggle, no note, no survivors were ever found. Insurance investigators, government officials, and novelists have chased theories for over 150 years. Everyone agrees they left in a hurry. No one agrees on what made them run. A 600-year-old book exists that nobody on Earth can read. The Voynich Manuscript is filled with elegant handwriting in an alphabet that matches no known language, dead or alive. Its pages show plants that don't exist in nature, star charts with unfamiliar constellations, and women bathing in green liquid through tangled pipes. Carbon dating places the vellum in the early 1400s, ruling out a modern hoax. Codebreakers who cracked the Nazi Enigma machine tried and failed to decode it. Some call it an elaborate medieval prank. Others believe it hides a lost language, a forgotten science, or a cure the church wanted buried. Every theory eventually collapses under its own logic. The manuscript now sits behind glass at Yale, fully scanned, fully public. Officially, it remains an unsolved medieval mystery. Unofficially, some scholars have simply given up trying. In 12th century England, 2 children climbed out of the ground, and their skin was green. Villagers in Woolpit found a boy and girl wandering near an old wolf pit, speaking a language nobody recognized. They refused every food except raw beans. The boy grew sick and died within months. The girl slowly learned English, and her green skin faded over time. She claimed they came from a twilight land underground, where the sun never fully rose, until a strange sound pulled them through a cave into blinding daylight. Medieval chroniclers recorded the story as fact, not folklore. No missing village, no hidden cave, no explanation was ever confirmed. The pit at Woolpit still exists today. So if her story was invented, why did 2 children really appear out of nowhere, speaking a language that matched nothing on Earth?